Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today I'm looking at Webbed from Bicycle. This deck is one of a couple of Walmart exclusive decks that have just been released. So if you like what you see here, go check it out in Walmart stores. But let's jump into it, find out what it's all about. Now, the deck itself is inspired, of course, by spiders, and from the look of it, very much liberally kind of takes inspiration from a certain Marvel superhero. I looked all over the deck, couldn't find any indication this is actually an officially licensed partnership or anything like that. So not sure from an intellectual property standpoint how they got away with it, but whatever, we'll leave that for what it is. So let's jump into the deck and check it out. All right, starting with a tuck, regular glossy finish tuck case, no embossing, no foiling, nothing like that. Classic Bicycle trusted since 1885 banner across the top, and this red, black, and white design featuring the little spider there at the bottom, complete with the hourglass symbol letting you know this is a Black Widow spider. Has webbed at the bottom in a very familiar looking font, again reminiscent of Spider-Man. And then the center logo here is a blown up version of that hourglass that's typically seen on the back of a Black Widow spider. Spiraling out from there, you have just a series of these sort of like lines and very angular designs reminiscent of spider webs, and then kind of faded into the background you have all sorts of just webbing all over the place in red. So pretty cool front design to the tuck case. Obviously takes liberal inspiration from Marvel, but not too bad. On the sides, you got air cushion finish made in the USA, and the United States Playing Card Company, who of course printed the deck on the other side. Add copy on the bottom and a barcode, and then it says webbed playing cards again in that really familiar font on the top. Back is going to be just an image of the back of the card, so we'll look at that in a second. And you get just a standard black USPCC seal. A little bit more ad copy and red webbing on the inner flaps here, and nothing printed on the interior of the tuck. So that is the tuck case, which you'll see right on the shelf, but let's look at the cards. We'll start with the back design. So a lot more of the same. It is a black back design with red and white ink all over it. You've got the pair of Black Widow spiders, the Black Widow hourglass in the center, and then more of those kind of webs coming out and forming a two-way back design. I like what's going on here. I like the angular look to it. I wish, particularly given that the faces of the cards, as you can see, are white, I wish they hadn't gone with the black edges on this one. But it's not a bad design. I think Marvel gave them a lot of really good artwork to work off of. And so they just kind of used a lot of that in kind of pulling together this design. So very nice design. Like what they did here. I like the kind of angular and sharp look to it. Not too bad. Now that said, like I said, if you flip over, you get to the white card faces. I really wish that those had matched the front or the backs of the cards, but it is what it is. It's a standard retail deck, so less customization as we get into this side of it. So here's your two jokers. Just the standard 808 bicycle joker with the king riding on his bicycle, and just in two different colors. One of them's done in black and white, maybe little hits of red in there just to give it a little bit of accent. And then the other one, the king's kind of colored in a gray and red. Interesting color scheme there. So the two different jokers. Wish they'd worked a spider in there somewhere, maybe just like a spider crawling up his arm or crawling on the rock or something like that. But two standard jokers. Your boring old ad card for bicycle, and you do get a double backer. So interesting, you get a Magic Gaff card, given that I don't think that with the faces and the backs being different colors that you're really going to be able to use this one in as many tricks, but it is what it is. All right, into the cards, and here's your Ace of Spades, the one custom ace in the deck, and the Power Ace. So of course you have that spider making its appearance on a kind of much sharper and more kind of polygonal shaped spade pip with the red webbing forming the background. And then you've got bicycle webbed as well as USPCC mentioned at the bottom. Pretty standard index in the corner, and the pip a little bit hard to see, but it is a slightly custom pip with more kind of sharper angled edges. So you can get that in there so you can see that. So there's the ace of spades. The number cards are all going to be slightly custom, so you have that slightly different pip in the corner, and the number pips are going to be more custom. So they're kind of gray, and you can see that kind of lined image in there, complete with the little hourglass in the center. So you get a little bit of custom on the pips. These pips are actually one of probably my favorite parts of the overall deck. But otherwise pretty standard bicycle layout, nothing special on these. And then you get to the courts, classic courts, but recolored. Sometimes I like a good just plain recolored. I think, you know, these definitely a little more could have been done. That said, it's not a bad color scheme for the deck with that gray and red. Definitely not a color scheme I've seen too many times, and matches pretty well with the backs of the cards. So as recolored courts go, it's not too bad. Just wish they'd, again, done more with the theme here. So there's into the diamond pips. Again, kind of same little design in there, giving a little extra shape to the pips. And courts are going to be more of the same with that red and gray. Very classic poses. No changes on any of the courts that I could find. There's into the clubs, a little close up, same design, just in the center of the club pip now. And then your heart courts and custom heart pips. Finishing, as always, with the ace of hearts. So that's the deck. As far as handling, the bicycle retail deck, so I think you probably know what to expect here. Good handling, fans nicely, cuts beautifully, so you know, not too much to say about how these handle. It's the same quality that you're just used to with USPCC. So what do you think of the deck overall? Well, if I put aside the fact that I cannot believe that this is not a Marvel deck and that they were able to do this without a license, put all that aside, I think it's decent for a $4 retail deck. You know, I think it does pretty well with the theme without being too over the top of like a Spider-Man knockoff. I mean, it doesn't have that cheap knockoff feel to it. Definitely some decent elements to it. Be useful as a gameplay deck for sure. Be a lot of fun just to use as something a little bit different for gameplay. You could use this for Magic, although again, like I kept saying, the faces and the backs being different colors really limits a few of the tricks that a lot of people use, including ones that are going to make use of this double backer. So I think that kind of limits some of the usefulness of the deck from a Magic perspective. I'm sure you could use this for cardistry. Maybe some of those angular lines would look good as you spin this in like packet cuts or something like that. So, you know, a functional deck that you're going to want to break out and use as opposed to a high-end collector's deck. But that's it. Go check these out at Walmart if you're interested, if you like what you see. And let me know what you think down in the comments. Subscribe for more deck reviews and unboxings, and I'll see you for the next one.